Good morning, and welcome to Nature Walk, the podcast where we delve into the wonders of the natural world. I'm your host, David, and I'm delighted to share with you a story that's both captivating and concerning. Today, we're going to explore the plight of tropical dry forests, ecosystems that are often overlooked but are nonetheless crucial to the survival of countless species, including our own. Gentle pause. As we embark on this journey, let's set the scene. Tropical dry forests, found in Latin America, Africa, Asia, and Oceania, cover nearly half of all tropical and subtropical forests. These woodlands are home to an astonishing array of wildlife, from jaguars and pygmy skunks to lemurs and tapirs. But it's not just the animals that rely on these forests. Hundreds of millions of people depend on them for fuelwood, food, medicine, and economic security, measured pacing. Now, let's take a step back and consider the historical context. These forests have been dwindling at an alarming rate, with over 71 million hectares lost between 2000 and 2020. That's twice the size of Germany, if you can imagine it. Deforestation hotspots are scattered across Argentina's Gran Chaco, Brazil's Cerrado, Southeast Asia, and much of Africa. Many of the remaining forests are isolated fragments, unprotected and hemmed in by industrial agriculture. Whispered excitement. But here's the thing, these forests are not just vulnerable to human activities, they're also particularly susceptible to climate change. In Costa Rica's Guanacaste region, for example, the dry season has lengthened by 2 months, and temperatures now exceed 32 degrees Celsius for nearly 2/3 of the year. This is pushing species to their physiological limits, disrupting delicate food webs and undermining rural economies. Clear enunciation. The effects are far-reaching, my friends. Climate shifts are driving wildfires and soil loss, threatening both ecosystems and human livelihoods. Some species may adapt, but others will vanish. The outlook, scientists warn, is collapse within decades without unprecedented intervention. And yet, despite the gravity of this situation, tropical dry forests remain chronically underfunded and under-researched. Dramatic pause. As we stand at the crossroads, it's essential to recognize the importance of these ecosystems and the need for urgent action. We must acknowledge the intricate web of life that exists within these forests and the consequences of their collapse. The time for awareness is now. The time for action is now. Expression of genuine wonder. As we conclude this segment, I'm reminded of the majesty of these tropical dry forests with their muted tones and seasonal barrenness. They may not have the lush mystique of rainforests or the climatic extremes of deserts, but they are no less vital to our planet's biodiversity. Building narrative tension. We'll be right back with more fascinating stories from the natural world on Nature Walk, where we'll explore the intricate relationships between species, ecosystems, and the human experience. Stay tuned for a journey that will take you to the most incredible corners of our planet, and perhaps, just perhaps, inspire us all to become better stewards of the natural world. Gentle tone. We'll be right back with more fascinating stories from the natural world on Nature Walk. Opening music fades out, and I welcome listeners back to the show. Welcome back to Nature Walk. I'm your host, David. We're exploring some of the most fascinating stories from the natural world today. In our previous segment, we delved into the plight of tropical forests, highlighting the importance of conservation efforts to protect these vital ecosystems. Now, let's dive into a tale of marine conservation, where the community and government have come together to safeguard a truly unique environment. Pause for a brief musical transition. We find ourselves on the western coast of Australia, in the Exmouth Gulf, a haven for an incredible array of marine life. This 2,600 square kilometer gulf is home to humpback whales, 4 different species of turtles, dugongs, and sea snakes, among many others. The announcement that this entire area will be transformed into a marine park, with at least 30% protected from fishing, marks a significant victory for conservationists. Soft, ocean-inspired soundscape starts playing in the background. The decision follows years of tireless work by a task force that consulted with local communities, businesses, traditional owners, and conservation groups. This collaborative approach underscores the shared recognition of the Exmouth Gulf's global significance and the need to protect it for future generations. Environmental sounds continue softly in the background. Australian Marine Conservation Society Chief Executive Paul Gamblin describes the Exmouth Gulf as a magnificent natural wonder, one of the greatest in Australia, highlighting its extraordinary biodiversity, which includes seagrass meadows, mangrove forests, and sponge gardens. It's also intricately connected with the renowned Ningaloo Reef, acting as a nursery for many species that call this region home. Pause for emphasis. The timing of this marine park announcement couldn't be more critical. The area has been under pressure, with recent marine heat waves causing coral bleaching on the Ningaloo Reef. This damage serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need for such conservation measures. By establishing this marine park, Western Australia is demonstrating leadership in marine conservation, recognizing that protecting nature is not only a moral imperative, but also essential for healthy communities and economies. Soothing music transitions to a slightly more upbeat tune. The state government's commitment to top up the Healthy Oceans Fund with $5 million to support research into coral reef recovery is a welcome step. However, as WA Green's ocean spokeswoman Sophie McNeil points out, this funding, while a good start, is only a beginning. The full impacts of the recent heat wave need to be monitored and tracked, emphasizing the ongoing need for support and vigilance in protecting these precious ecosystems. Music begins to fade out. As we reflect on this story from the Exmouth Gulf, it's clear that collaborative efforts can lead to remarkable outcomes for marine conservation. It's a testament to what can be achieved when communities, governments, and conservationists work together towards a common goal, protecting our planet's incredible natural heritage. Music fades out completely. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Nature Walk. Welcome back to Nature Walk, dear listeners. As we conclude our journey through the natural world today, I'd like to shift our focus to a crucial aspect of conservation that often goes unnoticed: the role of women in preserving our planet's biodiversity. A recent report by the Rights and Resources Initiative and the Women in Global South Alliance has shed light on the significant barriers that women-led organizations face in accessing funding for their conservation efforts. Soft, calming music plays in the background. As we delve into this topic, let's take a moment to appreciate the vital work that women are doing around the world to protect their communities' lands and resources. From the Afro-Colombian women harvesting piangua mollusks along Colombia's Pacific coast, to the indigenous women in Indonesia collecting forest products, these individuals are the unsung heroes of conservation. Gentle sound effects, birds chirping, leaves rustling. The report reveals that despite their crucial role in decision-making and conservation, women remain severely underfunded and underrepresented. The median annual budget of women's organizations in the WIGSA network is approximately $273,000, with Afro-descendant women's organizations having the lowest annual budgets. This lack of financial resources forces many of these organizations to rely heavily on volunteer labor, making it challenging for them to sustain their work. Soothing sound effects, water flowing, wind whispering. To address this issue, the report's authors are calling for a shift away from the current funding model, which is too rigid and focused on short-term grants. Instead, they advocate for more flexible, institutional, and long-term mechanisms that support women's activities. Partnerships should be based on trust, mutual learning, and co-creation of solutions, allowing women to decide what they need. Inspirational music starts playing. As we reflect on this important issue, let's remember the words of Omar R. Bolaños, Rights and Resources Initiative Program Director. When women have access to financing, it is a form of justice. As reparation for the constant violations of rights that communities face, particularly affecting children and women, it's essential for philanthropists, donors, and cooperation agencies to understand the importance of providing direct access to financing for communities. Closing music starts playing. That's all for today's Nature Walk. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep exploring your natural world.